Hi, this is Joe Ziemba, the host of When Football Was Football here on the Sports History Network. Aside from my podcasting duties, I'm also a sports collector. And as such, I'm very pleased to share the exciting news that the Sports History Network has partnered with Rochester Sports Autographs, the largest JSA authenticated autograph distributor in the United States, where you can get deals on over 30,000 autograph sports collectibles. So as a collector, I was very pleased when I visited the site of Rochester Sports Autographs. The massive inventory is easy to search, carefully documented, and visually appealing. The options seem limitless, whether you're looking for an autographed baseball, signed football helmets, or basketball jerseys, among thousands of others. I found everything from a Babe Ruth autograph, a signed football by Dick Butkus, and an autographed Larry Bird basketball jersey. And as a collector, you'll be delighted with the very competitive pricing on JSA authenticated products. Made possible since RSA deals directly with athletes, so there's no extra markup, and the savings are passed on directly to the customer. Perhaps you're looking for an early gift for Mother's Day or Father's Day. Heck, who needs a holiday as an excuse to give a piece of sports history to your loved ones? Or how about yourself? Today seems like a great day to add to your own sports collection, right? RSA even has film, music, and other entertainment autographs on the site, so there's something for everyone. All orders from Rochester Sports Autographs are top quality and shipped to your door with top authentication and a money-back guarantee. And to make sure RSA knows that the Sports History Network sent you, we created a special link for you. All you need to do is head to shoprsa.com/SHN. That's shoprsa.com/SHN to get your own piece of sports history today.
Now it's time to take a sports break, a look at sports history on a daily basis. Hello, my friends of sports history. This is Darren Hayes of the Sports Jersey Dispatch podcast. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your place for all things great in sports history, and welcome to your sports break for this May 4th. It's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I know you're going to hear that a lot today, but we have a great sports history show because there is so much sports history associated with the date of May 4th and legends of the game and Hall of Fame birthdays. We've got a lot to cover, and we're going to get to it right after we tell you about our social media presence. We would love to have you follow us on Twitter. We are at Pigskin Dispatch. It is the sports dispatch of history. We'd love to talk to you and communicate with you and have some follows and interaction. And you can also follow us and give feedback, pigskindispatch@gmail.com. Now let's start off with some sports history for this May 4th, and we'll go all the way back to 1871, and the first official league game of baseball was played in the National Association of Baseball Players in 1871. In the contest, Fort Wayne outscored Cleveland by the score of 2-0. The Fort Wayne Deacons player, Jim White, is the player that recorded the very first hit, which ended up being a double in the books. First baseball game in the National League. May 4th, 1929, Yankee star Lou Gehrig, wearing number 4 jersey, belts 3 consecutive home runs to help New York to an 11-9 victory over the Detroit Tigers. Gehrig knocked a total of 35 pitches over the wall that season for the Yanks, and you'd wonder, why did the Tigers keep pitching to him? 3 consecutive home runs. My goodness gracious. On May 4th, 1963, a very strange record was established by a player on this date. Pitcher Bob Shaw, wearing number 26 of the Milwaukee Braves, was called for 5 balks in one game as the Chicago Cubs outlasted the Braves 7-5 in a contest that had a total of 7 balks called. Well, maybe that record will be broken now with a new pitch clock, which could take those pitches, that record, way above that level. That's for sure. And we love to talk about baseball and go to some other sites to talk about baseball. And 80sbaseball.com, our friend Jay Daniel runs that site. He has a daily event schedule for during the baseball season, which talks about some great baseball history. And we have a link to it on jerseydispatch.com for this May 4th. But there's a couple items that we would love to discuss from Jay's site. And they are a weirdness play is what he calls it. And May 4th, 1980, a bizarre game in Philadelphia. It was the first inning. Dodgers outfielder Dusty Baker, the guy that ended up being a manager later on, grounded out in a drive in a run. But Baker had batted out of order, hitting in Ron Say's spot in the lineup. Now, Say was declared out, and Baker went to the plate again and hit a 3-run home run to left field, giving the Dodgers a 4-0 lead, and the Dodgers won the game by a score of 12-10. So Dusty Baker, that's out of order, but comes the hero in that game. And he has another great weirdness one too, but we'll let you go and take a look at that one. But a big day, he's got 4 or 5 of them here for this. On May 4th, 1983, a man named Rodney Cline Carew, that's right, Rod Carew, went 4 for 5 in a 16-8 Angels rout of the Orioles. The day raises his batting average to a cool 489 after 24 games, but he'd finished the year at 339. Very respectable indeed. Rod Carew, a Hall of Famer, and what a ball player he truly was. And we also like to go to another favorite site, and that's thisdayinbaseball.com, and they have a great collection of daily baseball events from all eras of baseball, and many of the majors and some of the minor leagues as well. And we go to their May 4th and just grab a couple segments. They have dozens of them, and that's no kidding. May 4th, 1954, the Philadelphia Phillies and St. Louis Cardinals set a major league record by using a whopping 42 players in an 11-inning marathon. That's going through quite a bit of roster people there. And Roberto Clemente's brilliant catch in the 9th inning kills a rally by the Braves on May 4th, 1955. The Pirates legend just had a tremendous knack of making some miraculous plays. This one in the 9th inning always makes it a very dramatic play and very memorable. And that is from thisdayinbaseball.com for their May 4th edition. Follow the link on jerseydispatch.com, and in the show notes it'll take you to their main part of the website. We'll take you right to the May 4th episode on the jerseydispatch.com website. Now, we also like to jump around and visit some hockey websites and some hockey moments, and we're going to use 3 of them today, 3 of our favorites. First of all is the VintageHockeyJerseys.com website. Tells us that on May 4th, 1972, a player by the name of Bobby Orr, I think you probably heard of him, he wore number 4, and he scored a goal during a 5-2 Boston Bruins loss to the New York Rangers to set a new record for career goals by a defenseman with 17. And it took Orr 47 games to break the record of Red Kelly that had done it in 90 games previously in a previous season. Now, an item from the Hockey Writers website, hockeywriters.com. May 4th, 1976, Reggie Leach, number 27, scored in his 8th straight playoff game to help the Flyers beat the Boston Bruins 4-2 in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup semifinals. Now, Leach tied the postseason record for the longest goal-scoring streak held by Maurice Richard by tying the game at 2-2 in the second period. Now, the NHL.com website, they don't want to be left out, and we don't want them left out either, so we're going to go to their post that tells us that on May 4th, 2009, Sid the Kid Crosby, number 87 of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and number 8, Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals take their rivalry to a whole new level when each scored 3 goals in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Head-to-head match of superstars. After tying the game early in the second period, Ovechkin powers the Capitals to a 4-3 victory by completing his hat trick with 2 goals in a span of 2 minutes and 29 seconds in the third period. His power play goal with 12:53 left puts Washington ahead 3-2, and a shot through the screen over the glove of Penguins goalie Marc-Andre Fleury at the 13:22 mark makes it 4-2, triggering a deluge of hats and lighting those lamps for Washington to win that game, to the amazement of all and the dismay of Penguins fans like this fella talking to you right now. So let's go to the hardwoods, and NBA.com offers a couple of great nuggets for the day. May 4th, 1970, the New York Knicks with Dave Ducharme with number 22 forced to play center against number 13 Wilt Chamberlain after a leg injury sidelined Willis Reed. Nevertheless, defeated Los Angeles 107-100 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks ultimately captured their first NBA title with a Game 7 victory over those Lakers. Now, May 4th, 1994, we get an inspiration as the round mound of rebound. Charles Barkley, number 34 of the Phoenix Suns, went 23 of 31 from the field on his field goal attempts and finished with 56 points, leading the visiting Suns to a 140-133 victory over the Golden State and a 3-game sweep of the Western Conference first-round series. Barkley's 56 points, tied for the third highest total ever in an NBA playoff game, and his 38 points in the first half, which set a record. And that is just some great sports history there. Now, we don't want to give up on our Jersey Dispatch yet. That's a lot of history, but we've got more from them, including some Hall of Fame birthdays. How about Dawn Staley, who was born May 4th, 1970 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? She is in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame as a guard. She's an outstanding athlete. Staley played college basketball at Virginia in '92, and she was on the Olympic gold medal USA women's team at the 1996 Summer Olympics, and she went on to play professionally in the American Basketball League and later the WNBA for the Charlotte Sting. While still playing pro ball, she started coaching Temple University's Owls women's basketball team in 2000. In 8 years at Temple, she led the program to 6 NCAA tournaments, 3 regular season conference championships, and 4 conference tournament titles. She wore that WNBA jersey, number 5, with the Sting. Also, a very happy birthday goes to some football players, and we have a lot of them over on PigskinDispatch.com. May 4th, 1928, in Ponca City, Oklahoma, Michigan State's fine tackle of 1949 and through 1951 season, Don Coleman. Now, Coleman helped guide MSU to a 9-0 record in 1951, winning the Spartans' first national championship on the gridiron. He won a deluge of awards, which you can read about on Pigskin Dispatch, winning the College Football Hall of Fame at the 1975 induction ceremonies, and a great player in Mr. Don Coleman. Another great player was born in 1910 on the 4th of May in Milton, Massachusetts. His name was Barry Wood, the Harvard University quarterback from 1929 through 1931 season. The footballfoundation.org tells us that he was quite a tremendous athlete, as Dr. Barry Wood earned 10 varsity letters at Harvard, lettering in football, hockey, baseball, and tennis. However, football is where he really excelled. He was on Grantland Rice's first All-American team in 1931 as a sophomore. In 1929, he threw a 40-yard touchdown pass and drop-kicked 2 extra points for a 20-all tie with a powerful Army team. He ended up playing part in a lot of other great victories for Harvard. And the National Football Foundation selected Barry Wood for entrance into the College Football Hall of Fame in their 1980 ceremonies. We're talking about great college players. How about one of the 4 horsemen? Elmer Layden was born May 4th, 1903 in Davenport, Iowa, and he was Irish fullback from 1922 to 1924. Now, Elmer was one of those famed horsemen, like we told you, and he was not only a great player, but also served as a coach, college athletics administrator, and a professional sports executive. After completing his collegiate playing football days, he played pro ball in the original AFL, Red Granges League, in 1925, and in 1926 he played with 3 clubs, the Hartford Blues, the Brooklyn Horsemen, and the Rock Island Independents. They're more of a couple games here and there as a showcase exhibition, draw some attention to draw some crowd type things, but he played nonetheless. He began his coaching career during the same 2 seasons at Columbia College in Dubuque, Iowa, now known as Loras College. Layden then served as a head coach at Duquesne University from 1927 to 1933, and at his alma mater, Notre Dame, from 1934 to 1940, where he also held the position of athletic director. From 1941 to 1946, Layden was a commissioner of the National Football League, and he's inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame as a player in 1951. another birthday. This one from May 4th, 1938, Hampton, Arkansas. It was Wayne Harris who played center for the Arkansas Razorbacks from 1958 to 1960. Now, the NFF states that Wayne was an excellent blocker on offense and a fierce tackler on defense in single platoon football, and he was on the field almost the entire game, every game of his career. He was a first-team All-America selection, and Harris set Arkansas's single-season record for tackles with 174 in the 1960 season. He ended up winning many all-conference selections and awards and Conference Players of the Year, and the College Football Hall of Fame inducted him into their museum in 2004. Now, he was further honored in 1976 when the Canadian Football Hall of Fame inducted him for his fine play as a career as a member of the Calgary Stampeders in the CFL. Now, that's our sports history, our football history, baseball, basketball, and hockey from May 4th, and we are sure glad that you were able to join us. We hope you join us once again and all of our episodes. You can find them very easily in our newsletter, or put us as one of your favorites on your favorite podcast provider. We are on Spotify, Audacity, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and you name it, just about anyway, Stitcher, all of them. And you make sure you can find out exactly when we drop by doing that, or by our newsletter, which comes out each and every morning. And we told you how to do that. Go to the show notes of this podcast. So till next time, everybody, have a great sports history day. This penalty kill is almost over. I got to get back out on the ice. But thanks again for joining us for another great edition of Sports Jersey Dispatch Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow. We invite you to check out our websites, jerseydispatch.com and pigskindispatch.com. Not only see the daily sports history, but to experience the preservation of great events and people that play the games. Find us on Pigskin Dispatch. It's also on social media outlets of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel. You get all your daily sports history. Pigskin Dispatch is happy to be associated with the Sports History Network, the sports headquarters of yesteryear, found at sportshistorynetwork.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hi, this is Joe Ziemba, the host of When Football Was Football, here on the Sports History Network. I'm very pleased to announce that I will be partnering with the Sports History Network to give away 2 copies of my latest book called Bears vs. Cardinals, the NFL's Oldest Rivalry. To enter, just head over to the following link, sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. We hope you'll enjoy the numerous stories in the book, which is largely based on the newly released Dutch Sterneman collection at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dutch was the co-owner of the early Chicago Bears with George Halas and kept correspondence, financial records, and scouting reports, which now allow us to peek into the management of an NFL club during the first few years of the league's existence. Along the way, we'll meet unusual gridiron characters from years gone by, including a quarterback who could throw the ball farther behind his back than he could throwing it forward, a Bears lineman who was such a good tavern fighter that he decided to enter the boxing universe, and a Cardinals halfback who gave up the NFL rushing title by deciding to not show up for his team's final game of the season. And can we forget the time the Al Capone mob interrupted a Bears-Cardinals game? The new book was fun to research, and I hope you will enter our free contest today. Once the winners are selected, we'll be in touch regarding shipping as well as to inscribe the book personally for you. This might make a perfect gift for Mother's or Father's Day, or simply add it to your own personal collection. Once again, enter by visiting sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. Thank you and good luck.